Hanaki! Did you know that our souls are connected by fate? What do you know? I'm Yuno Hanaki, the one and only Oiran from Mialoon. Good afternoon. It is noon precisely where I am, so it is officially afternoon time. Crazy. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you guys have been having a good week. Happy Wednesday. I don't usually see you guys on Wednesdays more recently because I choose to use that as a day off, but it's a bit different today. Wow, wow, wow. I'm used to talking at this time. Yeah, if I fumble my words a lot, it's because I'm not used to speaking at this time of day. I'm getting used to using my vocal cords at noon. Obviously. But yes, it is OniWedness, I guess. Because you needed to have at least one Zatsu this week, right? It couldn't just all be games. I also need at least one stream where all I do is Gap. I prefer it to the game streams, to be honest with you. I like this better for me too, as well. But yeah, I hope you guys have been having a good week. Happy midweek. It feels weird to say that it's Wednesday already. I don't know what's been going on. Maybe because I didn't do Onimon this week, but I feel like my days have just been blurring together. Onimon consistently being on Mondays is the only reason I know when the weeks progress. Other than that, I'm just like, pachoo! I don't know what's going on. The solution is 6-hour Graces streams. I mean, in a perfect world. But Tales streams belong on either Tuesdays or Thursdays, depending on availability and such. So I will probably never really do Graces on a Wednesday. But I do want to try to get back into playing Graces so that we can finally beat it. We have other games in the backlog that are waiting for their turn because I don't want to have too many long plays going at once. Thank goodness the time reset. I was 3 hours from implosion due to depletion of core yap fuel. Understandable. And I didn't oversleep this time. I woke up 2 hours before stream. I did rot in bed for like an hour, but then I got up and I had breakfast and stuff, so I'm still being productive. Yippee. My time has been thrown all out of whack because I work into the next day now. Ew! What a terrible time slot. That sucks. I hope you can get a better shift. Curse limitations of the Oni body. Let VTubers stream for infinite hours with no consequences. I mean, that's if I ever decide to do the accursed uncapped subathon. Nightmare Land. By Nightmare Land, I just mean I don't know how it'd occupy my time if I was trapped on stream for, like, several days worth of non-stop, content. It lasting that long would not be the problem. The problem would be figuring out what to do during that length of time. I'm very indecisive on a good day. Me making my schedule, I can usually do it. I've told the other girls this before, like, even back when we were corporate. Because they were like, why are you so good at, like, planning out your schedule and having it ready at the start of the week? And I was just like, the cheat is to have a lot of ongoing series. I may have complained about management making me do a lot of series content because they wanted me to have a lot of different stream series going at the same time, mostly Zatsus. But I will admit that the benefit of it was that I always had an option for a stream. Several days were already just planned out ahead of time because I was playing long games, so I would just be like, part whatever of this game. And it'd be GG easy. But in cases of things like donathons or like long periods of time, uncapped streams in particular, where you're just streaming for seemingly forever, or at the very least like a week long, non-stop. That's kind of where it gets to like, what do I do during this time frame? What do we get up to? Where do we go? So, were I ever to do an uncapped donathon, I don't know if I'd be able to fill the schedule all the way. 12-hour yap, that's true. When in doubt, it just becomes a very, very long, extended Zatsu. How to make my schedule sees 9 different ongoing series. Literally, though. Especially the Kohai would always be like, why are you always able to finish it so quickly? And I'm just like, because a lot of the things I do are repeats. Same series, different topic. And then it would just be GG. Call back everyone from the birthday calls, but it's 1-hour calls now. It just becomes like mini, well, I guess not mini, because I feel like most collabs are at least like 90 minutes to 2 hours. But it just comes a bunch of one-on-one collabs. I mean, that would be fun for me, but it has been proven, maybe not proven, but a lot of people tend to say that collabs just don't get that much attention because people's like viewership will be split between the different perspectives. So like it could work and it would be fun for me because I'd get to talk to a lot of cute girls. But I don't know if the viewership would really churn out the way that it would need to. Interview-a-thon. They have to bring all the caps too so you can uncap them. I love that that's your interpretation of what an uncapped subathon means. Very true, though. I force every guest to wear a hat, and then after the 1 hour, if they have proven themselves worthy during the interview, I take the cap off. No cap. And then they leave. Bald. Yes. That's the stream concept. Thank you for listening to my pitch. I will not be taking questions. I wish you could watch all the streams on the app, but it doesn't work that way. That would also be information overload, wouldn't it? Like, could you imagine trying to watch, like, I don't know, let's take a game like Repo, for example, that can have, like, 6 to 8 players. Could you imagine trying to watch 6 different POVs at the exact same time and the noise cacophony? I mean, I guess with games like Repo that have, what's it called, proximity chat, you wouldn't have to worry too much about audio overlap, because sometimes when people split off to different areas, the audio would be quieter because there's less people around. But also, that's just a lot to consume with your eyes. You know that meme of SpongeBob, like, trying to read 2 pages of a book at the same time? That's basically what it would be like. Uncapped just means stream ends when we find the matching lid to this dang Tupperware. Why do I have 5 square lids? I have that exact same problem right now. In the kitchen are a bunch of, like, containers and things, but I can't find the lids to any of them. And the lids that I do find don't fit any of the containers that I'm trying to put a lid on. It really freaking sucks. I challenged myself with one of the really early Kawaii Crab Game collabs, and I think the audio still rings in my head to this day. Yeah, no, I get it. The thing with Crab Game collabs, especially, like, I don't want to say especially Kawaii Crab Game, because that's not necessarily true. But, like, when we played it with Ephemera, and it was, like, a slightly bigger group, everyone decided to switch to using the Discord voice chat instead of proximity, and I hated that. You could probably tell. I wasn't streaming my POV, so maybe you couldn't actually tell, but in my friggin' head, I was just like, this is audio overload. I'm glad I'm not streaming my POV, because this would have been destructive. This would have caused ear bleeds. Security guards watch 100 plus video feeds at the same time. We should be able to watch 10 streams at least. Actually, they don't watch 100 plus video feeds. They have 100 plus video feeds on, and they are instead watching something on their small little, like, mini cable television. They only look up if there's a security alert. Movies have told me this. Puntable is running around swapping all the lids to make sure she isn't sealed anymore. I mean, I guess that's fair. I don't seal her. I feel like that's more a you guys problem. You need a gaming rig to run more than like 3 or 4 streams and mute it all but one source, but was in buffer heck. So true. Although I feel like if it's buffer heck, you probably would need a better internet connection to be able to have multiple streaming videos at once. And that is usually something that like a cable or internet company will tort about itself, you know? Like they'll be like, you can watch this many streams. Although they usually don't expect you to be doing it all on the same system. Stress testing be like, I didn't account for this information. And they have multiple monitors, not a tiny phone screen. So true. Just get another phone so that you can have a secondary phone screen. And then you attach them to each other. Dual phone wield. Easy. Just do that. Problem solved. But yeah, I don't know. I've tried to watch multi-POVs before, but usually I kind of give up and I just pick, like, a favorite. Or, like, I pick the POV of someone who I feel like will interact with, like, the most people, maybe. So, like, one of the more social ones in the collab group. So that way I can get little highlight reels from everybody else. Hanaki, welcome in, welcome in. What speed do you need, sir? I have 17 Oshis. I need to be able to watch 17 streams at the same time. All of them are going to be doing different things. How many freaking, like, small screens? Well, I mean, I guess there are also websites that let you run all the POVs at the same time. But again, the auditory overload. I already have very terrible auditory processing if I'm even talking to, like, one person. God forbid I'm trying to listen to, like, 4 or 5 people at once. I would just be like, I'm perishing, actually. Time to recreate that one scene from The Dark Knight. I have never seen The Dark Knight. I don't know what you're referencing. But I guess so. Time to simply expand your brain. If you have more brain bandwidth, surely that will increase your internet bandwidth, right? Years of raiding in a Discord call with 20 plus people has trained me for this. Oof. That's wild. But also, when you're raiding, aren't you usually, like, relatively quiet? Besides, like, doing your callouts and stuff? Like, the few times that I've watched my friends do raids, their entire VC is basically quiet except for the calls. The Oni lights guide you back to me. I'm gonna say Vigred, because it's not being spelled like Vigerd. Vigred? Welcome to the Oni Lights. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. Can I upgrade my brain to 6G? Man, I want to upgrade my brain to 6G. Get in line. But also, I hope so. Someday. That's the right way. Yippee! Lucky guess. Usually, but it can get hectic at times. That's fair. Left earbud, right earbud, 4 corners surround sound with 1 stream to 1 each, and one of those headsets that conducts sound through bone for the hearing impaired. No, dude. That would be too much for me. My brain is running from a floppy disk. Baby, update your software. Or I guess update your hardware. Gotta get that fixed. Just get more ears. That brought to mind, I don't know if I've told this story before. It's not really that much of a story, but there was like an assignment we had to do. I think this was for an English class when I was in elementary school or something. We had to choose like a phrase or an expression and like illustrate it as if it were literal. And everybody else chose like very similar expressions and like idioms. I chose I'm all ears, and I literally just drew a person that was covered in ears. And I think I got like a C. And I don't know why, because I literally followed the assignment to the letter. Maybe it was because I was bad at drawing. But I think about that all the time whenever I say the expression I'm all ears, or whenever I think about like multiple ear scenarios. I'm just like, remember that time I drew a person that was covered in ears and I got a really bad grade on it, even though I followed the assignment. That is an SCP monster in the making. Hell yeah. The all-hearing ear. I had a similar assignment and my father convinced me to do keep your shirt on. So it's just, you would have to draw a person keeping their shirt on. That is such a lame drawing. I learned the other day that hold your horses means be stable. Yeah, hold your horses. Teacher got really disturbed and gave you a bad grade. They got a glimpse into my sick and twisted mind and they were just like, C. Horses stable. Yeah, we got it. I'm not allowed to make jokes, apparently, because anytime I express a pun, I get booed off the stage. So I just have to read something out loud and pretend I don't get the joke. Just wanted to say hi. Surprised you're doing a Wednesday stream. Yeah, it just worked out this way this week. Well, thank you for stopping in. Giving you a low grade to dissuade whatever this is. It didn't work. I still grew up into quite the little freak. Gotta draw a sad dude with a shirt on in the shower. So true. He was told to keep his shirt on, even though he had to go take a shower. Isn't it just tragic? We were just saying boo, no. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. I'm sure that's what it is. Definitely no other reason. At least you're not that YouTuber that turns children's coloring books into horror drawings. Oh, that sounds awesome, though. That sounds pretty sick. Alternate timeline, you know, that got an A and became a freak artist. I became known specifically for drawing, like, really intricate, horrifying monsters. I get hired for, like, a horror game company. And my job is just to design fucking freakish creatures. You know, the next Junji Ito. In an alternate universe, it was Junji Yuno. Guilty pleasure watch, but not Yuno coded. Oh yeah, I'm sure. It does sound cool though. Like, I like the concept. Would I watch it? Probably not. Concept though, cool. I did that and I didn't want to repeat, so my grandparents suggested too many irons in the fire. No one in class got it, though my arm may have been at fault. Yeah, maybe that was part of why I didn't get a high grade, because no one really got it because they didn't know the expression. I can't remember why I got the C. I just remember that I got it and I was like, dang, that's quite low. Especially for like an assignment in my English class, when English is usually my best subject. I remember being very offended. Baby me was just like, how dare you? To be fair, if I saw a drawing of a human with nothing but ears, my mind is not going into phrases. But that's the assignment! Use your brain! And they're just like, we can't! You took away our brain and replaced it with an ear! Imagine getting judged on drawing in an English class. More likely than you think, especially in, like, elementary school English classes. I'm about to say elementary school science classes. What about science? What? I've recently done artwork of you. Oh, that's amazing! Thank you, thank you. If you want me to see it, you would have to post it on Twitter using the hashtag #BellflowArts. Or you could just tag me on Twitter, I guess. But nice, good job. Proud of you for being creative. Well, Hanaki, I'm home now. What did I walk into? Welcome home. We're talking about this horrific drawing I drew for an English class assignment in elementary school. Judged on coloring is the worst. I was also one of those kids who couldn't really color well inside the lines initially. I got better at it eventually, but besides being bad with scissors and yapping a lot, that was the other assessment from my kindergarten teacher, my kindergarten teacher evaluation, I guess. The 3 core traits of kindergarten, you know, aka puntable, I guess. Cannot cut in a straight line with scissors, cannot color inside the lines, yaps too much and doesn't pay attention sometimes. Has to be sat away from friends. Also steals all keys and cookies. Yeah, but I'm talking about, like, what you can do in kindergarten class. I do not think you could really get away with stealing keys or cookies in those scenarios. Has time changed anything? I'm better at coloring inside the lines now. Not as good at cutting on a dotted line. Still not very good at using scissors. Y'all's kindergartens weren't battle royales? Not really. At least not that I can remember. I remember, like, a handful of my kindergarten classes and, like, what we got up to in some of them, but I don't really remember, like, a battle royale scenario. The closest I have was when the new kid moved onto my street and then became part of my kindergarten class. I've told this story to you guys before, though, but he tried to play house with me and the other girls, but he didn't want to have any other role besides the pet dinosaur. Specifically, he didn't even want to play the dog. He wanted to be a pet dinosaur. And then he wreaked havoc on the, like, house setup area, and it made the other girls freak out. I thought it was funny, but I also had to kind of play the mediator and be like, maybe you shouldn't be violent. I'm always surprised people remember things from kindergarten. How you were baby. You're not that baby. When you're in kindergarten, you're, like, between the ages of 5 and 6, right? It's not the hardest to remember, but I don't remember everything. I just have a few, like, specific moments from different classes in my brain. My memories start from, like, age 7. I mean, that's also fair. The difference between 5 and 7 is not that great. So it could be worse. My earliest memory was shaking in a bike basket and making my mother fall over. Oh my god. I think my earliest memory... I do have vivid memories of being a baby, like, in my crib at night and purposefully trying to fuck with Oni Mama, I guess. Like, the thing is, I knew I was a baby in a crib, but I also had enough sentient awareness to be like, I'm gonna mess with my mom. And I was like fussing and crying and making her peek her head in the door to look at me. Because I thought it was funny. And then whenever she looked at me, I'd be like, hey. And she was just like, can you stop? And then she'd look in again and be like, Yuno Hanaki? Don't do that anymore. And I'd just be like, hey, hey, hey. And then she'd leave and I'd start crying again. That is the earliest memory that I have. That's young. I have one memory from age 3, nothing from crib. So Puntable is simply a time-shifted baby, you know? Well, Puntable is like, I guess the equivalent of like kindergarten, you know? Where I had more personality. Because when I was younger, well, I guess still around the same age-ish, I was a very well-behaved baby and like a well-behaved child for the most part. I had like 1 or 2 moments of my urge to be a trickster, an urge for trickery, if you will. But other than that, I was very well-behaved. I followed rules to the letter. Even in like kindergarten and stuff, I was always following rules to the letter for the most part. Besides when I would yap. So I think Puntable is kind of like me, but exaggerated. In some ways, she's also the opposite of me. Because I was a very chill and patient child. Puntable is not. I feel like if I were to assess Puntable as a character, I think it's just like preschool child, but like amped up to 100. I never went to preschool though. I skipped right to kindergarten. I skipped a grade. Not really. In Onigashima, preschool was optional. At least back in the day when I went to school. Preschool was considered optional. A brat with too much power, yeah, basically. A spoiled child who is given too much power. That is Puntable. I was not very spoiled growing up. So in that regard, she is not me. But some of the more teasing, silly traits are exaggerated in Puntable. A little menace. For next April Fools, I'm gonna give Puntable a gun. You mean a super soaker, right? You mean a super soaker, right? Fear the smart 4-year-olds because they will use the cute of 4 to act 9. Yeah, true. Very real, very true. Oh, Hanaki, welcome in, welcome in. I fear a future where everything is digital tech and there are no more keys to jangle. Yeah. That'll be a very sad day for Puntable. She'll be like, frick this stupid Earth! And then she'll get into a rocket ship and leave. Share the fob. That's not the same. You want the keys to jingle jangle. Having a fob is cool, but it is not the same as having keys. There will still be keys, people just don't know what they're for, except for entertaining children. Honestly, true. Shake the fob. You just have a bunch of fobs on one, like, key ring, and it just goes... A future that you know jingled a PNG of a key for us instead of real keys. I have only ever jangled a PNG of keys. I've never actually jangled real keys on a stream before, or like on mic, I guess. I've played the sound effect, but I've never actually jangled my own keys. Fun fact. I've only ever waved around a PNG. I've seen the kiddos have a bunch of keychains together on their backpack exclusively for jingle reasons. Yeah, there's something about having the keys just to, like, jingle. For me, I have a bunch of Pusheen keychains. My friend was really addicted to blind boxes for a period of time. And they gifted me all of the, like, excess Pusheens they didn't want. So I have a bunch of Pusheen, like, plush keychains on my key ring. They're good for squishing. Today that changes? No. I thought you had, though. Again, no. I have only ever waved around a PNG and been like, look, the keys. And then I played the sound effect once. I, like, pulled up a YouTube video of keys jingling and I just played that and moved the PNG in sync with it. I have never jangled my actual keys. There needs to be a donor reward for the next birthday stream. For $500, I will jingle my IRL keys into the microphone. Really? Yes. But we're talking about it for the birthday stream, so that doesn't necessarily apply to now. I honestly do not know what I would do if I made an offhanded joke like that and someone did actually donate that amount. I would just be like, wait. What do you mean? I do not think it's worth that. Don't smile. Don't do that. I thought about it. The bid is always worth it. That's what they all say. Are you sure it's worth it, though? Pretty big asking price for a few seconds of key jangling. Gotta make rent. Do not take advantage of my financial situation to make me jangle keys.
An offering. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the $1. That's not 500. You can say in your message all you want that it's 500, but that's not how it works. You're going to have to donate $1 499 more times. Good luck. But it says 500, so it's 500. No, that's literally not how that works. Have you seen the kind of dono bits that have happened even with PK girls? Yes, but I don't have people that donate like that in my community. So I don't have to worry about that kind of thing ever happening to me. It's 500 of some kind of currency. That's not how that works. I asked for $500. 500 doll hairs. Not a penny less. Can I borrow $500? Do you really think I have that fucking money? No. I don't. Can we send 500 doll hairs through the mail? I mean, you can, but I feel like that is frowned upon in most societies. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, you know? Big stretch. I don't even have a pet and I say things like big stretch just because of how often I see it on social media. No, I'm not shrimping. I'm sitting upright. I just was stretching my shoulders.
An offering. Thank you so much.
Beep beeps, thank you for the $10. Donation for jingling a single key. Silence ASMR. A single key. Okay, 1 second. You can already hear it. This sucks. Anyway. That is 1 key. Congratulations. You said $500? Yes. 500 exactly, not a penny less. That's what I'm worth. In before $4.99.99, not gonna work. You'd need to you need someone else to donate 1 more cent, but you can't do that. 500 sand dollars? No, dollars. Thank you, Budo. I will never forget this. You're welcome. Never say I don't do anything for you.
An offering. Thank you so much.
This is equivalent to 500 Liberian dollars. I don't care what fucking library you got it from. That's not $500. Should say US dollars. 500 Canadian, that's like 250. Well, you still don't get anything. We have established that the minimum to get at least 1 key jingle is $10. I feel like you should know by now that all of the currency counts in USD. Look at how little the dono bar has moved upwards. Again, I don't give a fuck. You see how little that dono bar has moved above my head? You have not donated the proper amount. It's still appreciated, thank you. But it is not the same thing. I grabbed my keys from my bag and everything, and now I don't even get to jingle them. That's under 500 teeth. I don't want that. That doesn't equal anything. Oh, so you guys are out here getting $1 per tooth with the Tooth Fairy? That's crazy. I think I only got $1 for like my first tooth. Everything else, it was like 50 cents.
Bruh.
I can't believe it's still, well, I mean, I guess it would still get the bruh alert. Daniel Smith, thank you for the $4.99.99. You are crazy for that. I was truly kidding. But okay. So I guess the rest of the stream is just going to be key jingling.
An offering. Thank you so much.
Alex Jacobo, thank you for the 119 also. ASMR, but it's a cute Oni disappointed in her chat while jingling keys. That's literally what's happening right now. Yes. You are correct about this. Thank you. Stupidest bit of the century. Okay, I'm gonna mute this time so you don't pre-hear the key jingling.
An offering. Thank you so much.
Okay, bit over. That was about like 5 minutes. I think that's good, right? My arm's tired. It's a very fine, precise movement to be doing for like a long period of time. Thank you again. I did not think that that was going to actually amount to anything. This is going to hit VTubers Gone Wild. It probably will not. I don't think I'm famous enough for that. Hi, Yuno and Camel. Hi, Hanaki. Also, Slim, thank you for the $3.33. Key Jinglers winning. Very true. Also, Ruto, thank you for being a member of Soulfire for 16 months now. 16 months of key jangles. This is technically only like 1 month of key jangles, but still. You know, with her 500 keys, trying to find the key for her house. For anyone who cares, I have 3 keys on my key ring. And then I have 2 keychains. I got 3 keys. 2 keychains. That's mostly what you heard jingling. Also, the hard plastic is from my really, really old... This is gonna date me to fucking oblivion. My really, really old and also broken, Blockbuster video keychain that I got from Onimama. A relic. It's also just broken to hell and back, and it's like really scuffed up. I don't know why I still have it on here. I guess because I'm too lazy to take it off. Blockbuster, yeah. Welcome in, welcome in. Oh boy. I felt my soul age just hearing that. That's what I'm saying. It used to be in much better condition, but it has been scuffed. I have a Borders keyring somewhere. Old! Honestly, mine is probably somewhere too. I also used to have a Borders one. Obviously, I'm a nerd. The other keychain, the 2 keychains I should say. One is of a VTuber that I was friends with. I got their merch at one point. And then I also have a High School Musical keychain. Did you keep any games when they closed? No. I didn't really use Blockbuster much. Not me personally, but that's why I said I got the keychain from Onimama. But I had needed a keychain for my keys once I started going out more. And like needing to come home at a certain time when the door wouldn't normally be unlocked. And I was like, but I don't have a key ring. What if I lose it? And she was like, God, you're such a baby. And then she gave me that. I got one of the OG GameStop member card keychains and the dang thing still works somehow. I mean, they still work, obviously. It's just that it's like scuffed looking. It used to have like a hook so that you could attach it to like the inside of your bag and stuff too, but that part has completely broken off now. I can't even like move it. Oh no, I lied. I can still move it. It just doesn't have the actual hook part, so I can't do any hooking. What about your acrylic keychain? I think it's on my nightstand somewhere. I don't use my own merch like that. The only merch that of mine that I use is my desk mat. I have the Hanami stuff and I have the 1-year anniversary stuff, but I haven't like opened up the anniversary stuff to build the pencil case. I'm terrified to bring my VTuber keychains out and get them messed up. Exactly, you get it. I have another friend's keychain on my backpack. This one got onto my key ring. I'm more likely to use my friends' merch than I am my own merch for some reason. I guess it could be awkward if you're out in public and someone says, wow, that's cute. Who is that? I mean, I would just be like, oh, it's just an anime character. You wouldn't know where they're from. Regarding myself anyway, I am not afraid to plug my friends. I'll just be like, oh yeah, this is... You guys are chilling on my ceiling fan pull strings? Hell yeah. A practical use. Love this for us. It's me, Smile. It's me. But yeah, these are from my normie OL days when I could actually afford to buy other VTuber merch. I shelled out for these for my friends that were VTubers. Back in the old days. I can't afford that much anymore now. I would 100% rep a shirt or hoodie out and about, though. I feel you. A lot of the merch that I used to get when I was buying merch more actively. What's the word? I went for, like, super subtle stuff. There's, like, this Japanese brand that makes merch that is meant to be worn out casually, but it still has, like, subtle, like, fan rep of, like, the media thing that it represents. I used to get a bunch of merch from them because it was also, like, stylish and subtle. Most of my bags are themed after my Oshi from Idolish 7 because I bought all the stuff from that brand. Ehehe. I like stuff that's subtle. If I were ever to make, like, apparel type merch, which don't count on it anytime soon, but if I were to ever make apparel merch, I think I would try to go for something that's, like, more subtle, so you don't have to necessarily be like I like the anime girl that is on this hoodie. It's more like it would have, like, a cool fan design or something, or like Oni masks, something that would be a subtle way to represent the Buno without fully being the Buno. A hoodie with wife on it. Ugh. The only way that would work would be if the thighs were on, like, either side and it was like a zip hoodie so you could split the legs apart, but that's also weird. Wife keychain. I see. Just a giant hoodie with only the top of your forehead on the front. I'll make a Yuno Hanaki themed whiteboard, and the whiteboard is just her forehead. Like, we just have, like, the white expanse of my forehead, and then, like, the framing of the whiteboard is my hair and, like, my headdress and stuff. Pants with wife. Oh, so you can become wife? Why H above the heart? Wife tattoo only on the back. I get what you're saying. I think the idea of, like, a black or white hoodie with just the bellflowers, like the bellflower pattern, would actually be pretty sick. I won't lie. Wearing pants with images of legs on them is a dangerous concept. That's why I'm saying. You want pants with wife? Are you sure about this? They're going to think that you want the sexy VTuber leg. But I think if it's just the tattoo, it could look really cool. That's because I'm biased and I really like how the tattoo looks. And what if we do want the sexy VTuber leg? I mean, more power to you. You will be one of the main people that buys the pants, should they come out ever. Bellflower temporary tattoos so we can have wife at home. Wife at home as in on your own thigh. That would look crazy. Is there a Discord for Mialoon? No. We've kind of debated the idea before. I don't think we're fully cemented on it. If you want, like, a Discord to talk about, me, and I guess also Kaya, and I think they might have a chat for Lynn. I honestly don't know. The ex-Kawaii fan Discord exists. I think that's, like, one of the main places where we are talked about. There is one for Lynn? Oh, sick. Yeah, then I guess, like, that's probably the best place to go. We have discussed the potential of us making our own server at some point. I don't know if I don't think we've, like, formally decided if we're gonna or not. We've kicked the idea around. Need to seek these out? Only if you want to. There is no pressure. But yeah, there's no server dedicated specifically to Mialoon, as far as I'm aware. Unless there is and I just don't know about it. The only fan Discord I've ever known about was the one for Kawaii. Ugh. The only prerequisite to joining the Kawaii Discord is finding the Kawaii Discord. Honestly, fair. Janglers Anonymous. Please do not call it that. Terrible. Terrible. There has to be a few clown Discords. So for Kaya? Ha 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 ha. No, there's probably a few. That's a membership tier name if I have ever heard one. What do you mean? We already have all of our designated tiers and also emote tier. I'm not making a tier for Janglers Anonymous. If I did, it would have to be $4.99.99 because that's how much it's worth to jangle the keys. $500 tier, the janglers. You get like a 15-minute ASMR every month of me jangling my keys. And then it also is combined with another ASMR trigger. So it's like ocean waves plus key jangling. Rainstorm plus key jangling. Ear cleaning plus key jangling. What I'm hearing is a Patreon tier. Library plus key jangling. That would be a combination of like page turning in a book, I guess, and key jangling. Writing with a pen on paper plus key jangling. Do you understand? Do you understand the vision? That's value. It's a good idea so we know it's a new recording. Ridiculous. Negative affirmations and key jangling. That thought is so funny to me. I don't know why. Fundraising goals to add additional keys to the ring. Where am I going to get additional keys? I don't need that many keys. Thrift stores? I guess there are places that probably just sell keys to random things. But I'm not going to become a key collector. Third outfit idea, jailer Yuno with a huge keychain. You guys just want to see me in a military-esque uniform. Be honest. On Throne, we could buy bundles of keys. Are you really that transparent? Yeah. Okay, I have to LARP this one out. Let me grab my keys again. Piece of shit. Freaking heck. That freaking loser. Stupid. Stupidest idea on the planet. Military outfit or prisoner outfit? I mean, why would I be the prisoner? There's no reason for me to be in jail. It makes sense that I would be the jailer because all of you deserve to be in jail. I'm kidding, by the way. Keep you all locked up in cages. Kaya would be the prisoner. I don't think Kaya would ever get a prisoner outfit, though. Especially if I was gonna be the jailer. She'd be like, ew, I'm matching with Bruno. Blech. Blech. Barf. I deserve a fair trial? I would never survive in prison. I have the plumpiest dumpy. It's the wildest sentence I've read in my chat in a hot minute. I love that for you. Celebrate having a fat ass. Let's go. A jailer, you know, would be good as well. I see. I'm learning things. We're learning. We're learning as a collective. I cannot say for certain that I love this for us because I don't think I do. But we are certainly learning something. Also, be right back. I'm gonna actually go put my keys away this time. Because I'm one of those girls where if I don't keep my keys in the same spot, I'm not going to remember them the next time I go out. Hello. I am back. Turn off the BRB text. I've returned. I had to go put my bag back in its proper spot, too. Also, it's not an ADHD thing. It is related to my brain hell, but it's not ADHD. I can tell you that much. Anyways. That was a fun bit. Dang. We need a key fund to up the keys Yuno has. I do not know if we necessarily need that. This is survival money. I don't know if I could really justify using money to get a bunch of keys. My family's just like, why do you suddenly have so many keys on your key ring? And I'm just like, it's a long story. Most of them do not go to anything. Walks into a hardware store, orders 100 blank keys, never elaborate. They're just like, what could you possibly need all these blank keys for? And I'm just like, eh. And then I leave. It's a key expense. Hilarious. Very funny. Mind your own business. Yeah, exactly. Shouldn't you just be happy I'm buying 100 keys? Don't question me. Don't question what I'm about. Keep to yourself. That's a good one, actually. You want those cut as you walk away, creating a myth among the employees. Legendary key buyer. Next stream, you don't get visited by the FBI live. Please don't wish that upon me. I just bought 100 keys. Nothing about that is suspicious. The next stream would actually be, struggles to put keys onto a key ring for 6 hours. Because I am very bad at putting things on a key ring. So usually once something is on my key ring, I will not take it off for anything. That's why I was complaining about the busted up Blockbuster keychain. I should take it off. It's literally useless. But because it took so long to get the thing on, I'm just like, well, I guess I'm stuck with this now. Don't want to go to the effort to take it off. Hear me out, keycaps. I don't really know if that would work. I guess it could. But I feel like that would get strange. Are the keys for chat? Yes. Yes, they are for chat. Suddenly reports of cars being keyed in Yuno's area, even though it wasn't her. No! Don't do that to me! I would cry, man. Because I'm a good girl. I've never really had to deal with the cops for, like, anything. If I was falsely accused just because the friggin' store remembered that I bought a lot of keys, it would truly be over. I just start sobbing. Gotta compare the few minutes of frustration to take off the keyring opposed to the years of clutter. Well, consider that it would take me several hours instead of just a few minutes. Because I'm really, really bad at it. And since I don't have that many actual keys on my keyring, it's not that much clutter. It's just that it's there.
May the Oni lights guide you back to me.
Shinshiriki, thank you for being a member for 7 months of the Emote tier! 100 keys. My chat is very, very literal. Key to my heart merch did a little too well. Would you buy a Yuno Hanaki themed key? The top of the key has little horns. It's like purple and green and stuff. Yes, I see it. Once again, taking stock of all these merch ideas. In the event I ever get to have unique merch again. That'd be cute. Not sure what I'd use it for if it didn't match my, if it doesn't match my lock. I wonder if I would have to also get like a lock to match, because I was thinking, you know, Hanaki themed key and then bellflower themed lock. So then you could like take the lock and you can put it on whenever, and you'd already have a key for it. Also, this kind of merch does make sense for me because my last name is Hanaki. It's the Hanaki. Do you get it? You can bring the key to a hardware store and they'll cut it to match your house key or something. Oh. That's smart. It could work. Nose key? What do you mean a nose key? You know, as a Keyblade all along, it's true. Now that you have discovered my true form, I must return. I just morph into a Keyblade right now. The rest of the stream is me laying on the ground. Because I'm a key. Yeah, the Hanaki. You get it. And I really do think a bellflower lock would look really cute, too. Very elegant and classy. Pass the Mark of Mastery exam before auditioning for Kawaii. If only. I think if I passed the Mark of Mastery, I don't know if I would have bothered to audition for Kawaii at that point. Hanaki, stop. Be mature. Gets copyright struck when simply placed in the background. Not if I sing it so wrong that the audio detection can not detect it. Simple and clean is the way that you're feeling tonight. See? Easy. See? Easy. One of those journals with a built-in lock that has a bellflower lock. You're on to something. We've technically already released like a notebook type of merch for the Hanamizuki one year. I'd feel bad making another set of merch that was another notebook, even if it was different and had the lock and key. This is my kind of content. It's like the same-ish energy of winning a big cash prize and saying first thing to do is go to Disney World. I mean, isn't that what every, like, kid wants to do when they get money? They're just like, can we go to Disney now? Notebooks are consumable. The other one will be filled eventually. I guess that's true. Notebooks in perpetuity. I don't know. I'll think about it. I feel like it might be a bit more versatile if it was just the lock and key itself versus having it limited to a thing. I will think. I imagine the key being gold with the horns on it. The horns would definitely be, like, on the top of it for sure. The color is the thing that's debatable, I guess. My stack of pretty unused notebooks. No, I feel you. I haven't even taken the wrapper off of the Hana Mizuki notebook. I also still have several notebooks I need to actually use before I can justify it. Every time I sit on my keys and feel a sharp pain, I'll think of Yuno. Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks. Glad to be of service or whatever. Speaking of, I journaled my trip to Japan. Please be proud of me. Of course I'm proud of you. I'd have been proud even if you didn't journal it. But I'm sure that journaling will help you preserve the memories better. Yippee! I'm still so jealous. One day I will get to have a Japan trip. Maybe someday. Being trapped in Onigashima sucks. I don't even want to be here. Shaking my dang head. What's a journal? A notebook that you write things down in, obviously. Usually used to preserve memories. Still need a passport. Well, I need permission from the other Oni to be able to leave also. But yes, part of it is that I don't have proper documentation. Pensive. Makes leaving Onigashima to go to other places hard. Manifesting. Sometimes chuny memories, also true. Sometimes you have to be a little chuny in your journal too. But that part's for fun, to make it spicy. It is okay. I'm working towards it. I've also thought about asking my family to help me get my passport for Christmas or something. Just to be like, please, I want to be able to travel. Not even just to Japan. There are other places I'd really like to be able to travel to. Stuck in frickin' Onigashima prison, though. Gets passport, goes to Japan, gets a Switch too. It is cheaper over there. It's just that it would be limited to the JP locale. If you buy the one that's not region locked, to Japan, it's still, like, expensive from what I've heard. But if you get the one that's JP only, it is cheaper. Apparently. You know it's going to be a passport bro? What's a passport bro? I've never heard this term before. Am I a boomer? It's not region locked, just language locked. I thought it was confirmed that the Switch 2 is going to be region locked. Hold on. Selling a cheaper region-locked Switch 2 in Japan, specifically targeting Japanese accounts in eShop to combat scalping and weak yen, while also offering a multi-language version for a higher price. So it's both. It's both region-locked and language-locked. Because it'll only work for JP games on, like, the eShop and stuff, too. Which is cheaper. But if you want the one that doesn't have the region lock on it, it's the more expensive price. But only that version. If you get the other type, it won't be region locked. Well, at least that assuages one of my fears. I had been kind of worried when I first heard it was going to be region locked because it's only recently that certain Japanese Ultimate games have been releasing with English translations already available, but you can only get them on the JP eShop. And at first I was like, oh no, if they go back to region locking, that means I can't account switch. Flick! But we're good. So that's good to know. This is still not going to convince me to get a Switch 2 with its initial launch, though. I said this on my sub account, but I am planning to wait until my limited edition Kirby Air Ride version is available, because the basic colorway is kind of gross to me. I don't really care for it too much. I think also, at least for like the fellow girly pops or people who just like brighter colors, I think a lot of people learned their lesson because they bought initial Switches and then the Animal Crossing Switch happened and they were like, well, surely I don't need another Switch. But then a lot of people regretted not getting the pastel version that came with Animal Crossing. That New Horizons Switch is on everybody's, like, regret list. So yes, I do need to wait for the pretty color options. And I would specifically like to wait for, hopefully, something Kirby themed. Because I feel like a Kirby Air Ride themed Switch 2 is the play. Just in my humble onion. And I'd love to get something that's like pink and starry. You don't like the slate gray with powder blue and salmon? I think salmon pink is the worst shade of pink. I hate that shit. So no, I don't want it. The powder blue is fine. But I do not care for the salmon pink. I do hope they make a Kirby one. That would be so much fun. That's what I'm saying. And I feel like they missed out because they didn't do it for the Switch 1. I think it would be cool to do it for the Switch 2. Especially since Air Ride is finally coming. In terms of like the new games that were discussed during that direct, I got the most hype for Air Ride. Still can't believe that happened. We had been memeing about it a couple of days before, and then it actually became reality, and I was like, I can't believe this. I'm hype as frick. They didn't put out a Kirby thing early enough on Switch to warrant a special edition console. That's why I'm hoping that since they talked about Air Ride so early, we'll get an Air Ride Switch 2. I'm manifesting this for me. Has Yuno ever left Onigashima travel-wise? No. Because I don't have the proper documentation. There's a reason I've been banished to Onigashima. I cannot leave Onigashima. I said out loud, called it when I heard the news. Aw, that's so sweet. I'm glad you thought of me too. Because I thought of you guys immediately. Also, it is on site, I fear. Whenever they confirm when Air Ride is releasing, I will get the Switch 2, and we are going to race in it. Mario Kart World is cool and all, but I've been waiting for Kirby Air Ride. Give me my fucking game. Also, I hope this means we still get to play Kirby Air Ride on, like, the GameCube emulator, because the classic Kirby Air Ride is also a banger. Now I just have to afford it. We all collectively have to save up. I also can't use the Joy-Cons, so whatever color they are is irrelevant to me. I mean, fair enough, I guess. Do what you gotta do. I popped up so hard when the turbine showed up on the Warp Star. I was so hype. I was just like, that's my baby! It's coming! I went crazy. It'll be a stream expense. I wish. There's like a certain amount, fun fact about streamer taxes, there's like a certain amount that you have to be able to prove that you used something for a stream. With games, I think it's a certain amount of like dedicated gameplay hours on a stream. I guess technically if I was mostly playing Kirby Air Ride as a stream game, I could probably swing it, but gotta kind of be careful. Really have to justify those game purchases as part of your expenses. Air Ride endurance stream? I mean, I would probably do it just to unlock all the vehicles. I would do it. Playing the story is pretty easy, if it's anything like OG Air Ride. Did you have to put money aside for it? Do you mean like for buying the games? Switch 2 launch endurance? No. I already said I'm not buying it at launch. Unless Kirby Air Ride 2 is coming out with launch, I'm not getting it at launch. I don't have the frickin' money for that. "72 hours of non-stop city trial." Gotta do what I gotta do to get those vehicles. Gotta have the whole arsenal. So that way when we race, it's on site. I will destroy all of you. I might also consider getting the new Mario Kart, though, just for the people who don't want to play Air Ride for whatever weird reason. I'm actually considering getting the NSO expansion now that Soul Calibur 2 is coming out. Honestly, it is worth it. I would advise finding friends to pool together for a family plan, though, instead of trying to foot the whole bill yourself. I am on a family plan with a bunch of friends as well. It's more expensive if you try to do it as an individual. It'd be nice to have a Switch 2, but I recently made the decision to play all my PS2 .hack games since I never played them to completion. .hack! Yeah. Yeah. You're justified for this. I have the .hack GU trilogy, and I've only played through the first game, and I think I got through a lot of the second game, but then I stopped. I love .hack, though. I have one of the .hack PS2 games as well, but I kept getting stuck. I didn't understand what I was supposed to do at all, so I couldn't really make it past the, like, tutorial level. Which, I'm Boo Boo the Fool for that, probably. I think Air Ride was one of the last ones I played with my sister before she got too cool for games. Maybe I can get her to play again. That'd be so sweet! I gotta say, one thing I do occasionally enjoy about, like, remasters, remakes, sequels of old IP is that it can sometimes, like, reunite family. Because it's like, oh, look at this thing. You played this thing with me once. Are you willing to experience the nostalgia? I still have lots of games in my console backlog, so I can survive without a new Switch for a good while. I feel that. I'm mostly a PC gamer, so I really don't need the new Switch unless it's, like, necessary for Pokemon. I honestly didn't even upgrade to my initial Switch until they started releasing Pokemon games purely for the Switch. So I think I got my Switch, and the first game that I really got with it was Let's Go. Let's Go Pikachu. That hack is what I blame for getting me addicted to WoW. But see, I just wanted to play the world. I didn't really want to play World of Warcraft. I specifically wanted to play the same game that the world existed on. Pokemon is what will get me to upgrade my Switch's name in the settings is Pokemon device. I shake your hand. That's the main reason I would ever upgrade Nintendo consoles. Primarily for Pokemon. When I was younger, I did try to prioritize, like, other games that I knew were coming out for it. But, like, for me now, at least, it's Pokemon. And now also Air Ride. I'm now debating, though, if I want to get Pokemon ZA for the Switch and then worry about the upgrade with Switch 2 later, or if I should wait and get ZA later. But I really want to play ZA, so I feel like ZA is going to be a launch day play for me. I'll suck it up, I guess. I remember reading that if you already have, like, the base game on Switch and you upgrade to the Switch 2 version, it's, like, not as bad price-wise as people feared, like, having to buy the whole game again. So maybe I will get ZA digital format. So that way when it comes time for the Switch 2 and I just download ZA again, all I have to do is buy the upgrade version digitally. I'll worry about the new Switch when they have a bundle I care about. That's fair. The $90 price would sting. I know. These prices for the new games are brutal. I don't like it very much. But it is okay. Also tariffs. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Anyways. Video games make the happy and also make the sad. Many such cases. I think I will try to be strong, though, and, hold out for a little bit. Regarding the Switch 2, I mean. But we will see. If I manage to find a regular job to do on top of VTubing, maybe I will consider getting a Switch 2 sooner. That's only if I have that kind of disposable income. I like the idea of an open world in the new Mario Kart, but I'd rather be Bowser Jr. cruising around the United States and visiting restaurants Guy Fieri's been to. I love that. I like that energy. That feels like it could be a whole separate game, though. Part-timer, Yuno. Yeah, I'm trying to find some form of consistent job that I can do to earn a bit more money so that I'm not struggling as much every month. I have not had a lot of luck, though. Most of the places I've applied to have been rejecting me, even after updating my resume. So I'm just like, well, time to explode. Time to perish, I guess. Job market sucks. I got a reply from like one job and they texted me to be like, add this person on Telegram. And I was just like, you texted me. Can you not just communicate with me via texting? I'm not downloading another messaging client just to talk to this person. That sounds like a scam. Telegram? Yeah, it's a messaging app. But I think Telegram messages, it can be like whole conversations can be wiped. There was like something about Telegram that I know a lot of scammers use it for. And I think it's because it's easy to like wipe convos. Wild move on their part, it'd be like that. So yeah, I didn't reply, and I also have not downloaded Telegram to add this person there. So that one's probably a dud. The CIA uses Telegram, even more suspicious then. Because this was just supposed to be for a data entry job. Everything costs a lot and jobs aren't hiring. I know, man. I know, man. The economy is so tight. It's so rough. That's part of why I'm trying to make it so I'm not as reliant on other people, because I know that everybody is going to be struggling. If they aren't now, they will be. So I'm just like, frick. I'm trying to get something else so that I'm not as dependent. Oh boy, is it a struggle to find another job. Every entry-level position wants 5 years of experience. You gotta just lie. I mean, there's no law saying that you can't lie. You just gotta be convincing about it. I have embellished a thing or two on my resume. I will not lie. That's because we gotta do what we gotta do to try and get a job. Convincing and don't get caught? Exactly. Like her height. Yeah, Yuno Hanaki, 6 foot. I'm 6 foot, by the way. 6'1". Very convincing. Just channel your inner Oni to get more height. If only it were that simple. But unfortunately, the Oni inside of me is also very small. I will not lie after just admitting to lying. You get what I mean. No lore transformations? Nope. I've always been a half Oni. If there was ever going to be a transformation, I would have to somehow become a full Oni, but that's not part of the narrative. That's just not how the story is gonna go. Also, like, even if I were to become more Oni-like in a transformation, that's not a very marketable design when you are a girl. People want pretty girls only, so it would just not really work out to go more monstrous. I could technically say I'm a department head because I'm the only one who runs a particular type of machine at my shop. Hell yeah. We love that for you. You could say that you are an expert on that particular machine type. Only cowards don't want the big nose and scrunkly teeth. No, see, everyone says that they want it, but then the minute that they see it, they're like, actually, never mind. The monstrous girls still have some very feminine parts. Sure. But not nearly enough to be palatable. Not nearly enough to be palatable. What if you could be a full Oni, but you just get taller, longer horns, and more muscle? I don't really like the idea of having more muscle. I like being a slender girl. Because that also wouldn't really fit with the Oiron thing. If I was going to go full Oni, I'd have to drop the Oiron aesthetic. Because Oirons are supposed to be slender and very, very feminine and pretty. I'm thinking the Roach VTuber with the MILF body. Okay, but she leaned a bit more human. She has elements of her that are definitively Roach. But enough of her body is like MILF humanoid that it doesn't really count. You wouldn't like her at her freakiest. Just condense your muscles. What do you want? Do you want muscles or do you want no muscles? Muscle mummies can still be feminine? Yes, but we're talking about human ones. Visible belly with abs? Would you still love me if I was a 500-pound wall of muscle? Baby, you can't lift a gallon of milk with those noodles. How are you gonna add 510 pounds to your current -10? Well, apparently, according to the rest of chat, the answer is to just become a full Oni. But pretty much all of the, like, anime-type Oni that I can think of, everybody's, like, mostly human. The only thing is that they have the forward on the forehead flesh horns. FGO, Shuten, and Ibaraki are full Oni. Yes. But again, they are also enough humanoid that it's sexualized women. And in some cases have different color skin. In very few cases. Most of the time, the depictions are just really pale. So, you know, I fit in with that. I've thought about full Oni muscle girl Yuno Skeb, but more toned, not bodybuilder. I mean, I won't say no. I don't mind if people get Skebs of whatever. I'm pretty open-minded with that. I just think, like, for my branding, I don't know if I would ever, like, deviate away from the more anime style. Because the thing about, like, the branding, for lack of a better term, is, like, making sure that it stays at least kind of consistent. And I feel like if I just went full Oni, full creature, that would be too much of a deviation and people wouldn't really like it. I also just don't think it suits me. Like, my voice makes sense coming out of something that's more human looking. I don't think my voice makes more sense coming out of a more demonic looking Oni. Because could you really hear my voice coming out of, like, a muscle mommy? I don't think so. Lest we recall, Yuno was supposed to be more mommy, and then management had it changed so that she looked more tiny and girly. Management kin assigned me freaking small and cute. So I'm afraid big bustle mommy is just not in the equation. Consistent with outfits and visuals. Juxtaposition baby. We call that gap moe in the business. Yuno's voice saying she hits the gym 3 times a day instead of a book. Exactly, it wouldn't be convincing. Yeah, guys, I'm Yuno Hanaki, the one and only Oiron. I just got back from the gym, working on getting those gains. I've got my Stanley Cup here with me, but instead of drinking water, I'm drinking a protein shake. Gotta do it so you can maintain that build, you know? Welcome in, welcome in. I couldn't do it convincingly. Who are you? That would be muscle mommy aesthetic. Exchange keys for shaker cup. Jangler tier turns to shaker tier. My dinner is 1 hyper-compressed steak marinated in protein shake. Silly. That'd be such a good bit stream. This is very true. That would be a pretty good bit. Spend an entire stream saying nothing but gains over and over. If I ever manage to get a setup to do Ring Fit or something, I will just use that voice the entire time. And all I will say is gains. Gym bro, you know, but everything is still pink and she's getting fit for summer, so the sundresses look good for the most confusing gap. That gap's not confusing at all. There are plenty of girls who become gym bros, but they still use like mostly pink stuff. Here's my protein shake merch. Hope you enjoy the gains. Incredible. That would certainly be the move of all time. Maybe April Fool's next year. April Fool's next year, we go full sports. The hyper-masculine tomboy experience. Cursed subathon food, protein powder crusted chicken breast. Ugh, that sounds so bad. Ew. The funny thing is that I do kind of like protein shakes, but I drink like pre-made ones. The move of all time would be Yuno undergoing ninja training to become an Oiron ninja Oni. But why would I do that when Kaya exists? Kaya is literally already ninja. I can't just steal the ninja thing from her. Have the other Mialoon girls join in and you 3P the JoJo Pillarman? I don't know what that's referencing. I don't know anything about JoJo. Wasn't she a pirate? Well, she's a pirate currently. But I still think it would be weird to take an aesthetic from my friggin' unit mate. Because she still uses Kaya for stuff. It's not like she's fully retired Kaya. It's just that one of her existing models, her current existing model is the pirate dragon. Kirby does it all the time. Well, I'm not Kirby, now am I? Kirby is my son. There's a difference. Yuno branded protein powder packs, bellflower for leg days, golden bone for core days, definitely not bananas for arms. The bellflower flavor probably wouldn't taste very good because it would have to be something purple. And I wouldn't want it to be grape. I don't like grape flavored stuff. Golden bone. Not sure what that would be. Maybe pineapple? Banana for arms. True. You could perform the fusion dance. Who would you fuse with and why? I don't know. I have aspects of like a lot of people's designs that I really, really like. But I can't really see it working if they fuse with me because I'm so green. It just wouldn't work out. Why not just use your writing powers to become Light from Death Note? I mean, I could. But that would mean getting a Death Note. Just because I can write well doesn't mean I have the same ability that Light does to, you know, kill people with the Death Note. I don't have a Death Note. Lavender vanilla? I guess lavender vanilla wouldn't be the worst thing. Anyone who fuses with Yuno is exactly the same, but purple, shorter, and horned. So not exactly the same, then. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really think I'd want to fuse with anybody. I feel like I am okay the way that I am. But I have enough flexibility with my new mama that we can change things up quite a bit. Like, we'll have different color palettes and stuff for future outfits, probably. I want to reach a point with my mama where I can just go to her and be like, hello, new model time. Here's the assigned color. Go crazy. And then maybe, like, a loose idea of a concept. But then I'd want her to actually design it, like, however she wants to. Because the process of designing 2.0 has been really, really fun because she's so good at character design. Fuse with Yoshi, become green dinosaur. You're right that the color would not change, but becoming a dinosaur, I guess, is the thing that's different. Although some people would be like, isn't that just Bowser? No. It's different. Ooh, I can't wait for 2.0. I also can't wait for 2.0. I just want to blink and have it be October already. So that I can have it in my hands. We gotta work hard, though. We gotta lock in. We gotta lock in so I can get the money to pay all of it off. Gotta lock the frickin'. You know, Kirby is just a purple Kirby with Yuno's headdress and horns. Very true. Power of jingling keys. No! How many times do I have to tell you guys that when I battle, I use a battle fan? Not keys! If you want jingling keys, Kirby would have to absorb Puntable. Trash creature. No, it's not made out of keys. Stop. You are Bowser coded? Just switch the red with purple? What the freak? I've never been called Bowser coded before. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but Bowser's a cool dad, so I guess there are worse assignments. Battle fan with a jingle key on the base. Stop. There's no fucking keys. Freebie! Is it one fan or will you dual wield? Whenever I think about it, I imagine dual wielding. I think the only time I'd use a single fan is when I was casting spells, because I'm also a support magic user. Buffs and debuffs. Key trinket? No. No key. No key. Fan in one hand, key in the other. Stop! No! Not correct! You're the type of build to focus on magic and everything else but physical stats? I try to go for physical defense. If I'm choosing stats for characters, I prioritize, like, magic, special skills, and then defenses. Admittedly, physical attack I really only care about if I know that the character is a physical attacker. Can you heal in combat on Link and Tails? I probably have, like, a self-heal, and then I probably have, like, one small heal that I can use for other characters. Nothing like mass party healing. So no healing circle for me. But I'd probably have really good, like, solo healing skills. Fans can have the tassel on the handle, though. Yes, that is the closest you will get to a key. A soft tassel. Attack, Razor Wind, buff, healing gale. You get it. You get it. You understand. Yes. Oh, to have the knowledge to make a game and turn you all into an RPG party. It'd be so cool, right? I also wish I had abilities in game development. I only have story writing and character concepts. That's all I've got. I can build a world. I can tell the stories within it. I cannot make game. We'll settle for a tassel made of chains for slight jingle. Fine, I guess. Fine, I guess. I do want to own an RPG Maker, but my brain is disheveled in beauty. I feel you. It still can be hard to, like, learn a program, even if it's even if it attempts. Sorry, I can't talk. Even if it attempts to be streamlined to make it easier for people who don't have experience in game dev. You know, just settles for writing fanfiction. Me for real. I'll just make a very elaborate AU where everybody's part of an RPG party. A bell at the end would suffice as well if you insist. Yes. I prefer that. There being a slight jingle whenever I wave the fan to cast magic. I love that for me. I love that for me very quite much, actually. Okay. And to make sure I save this. All right. Sound is just compressed airwaves, so checks out. Picturing a Yuno with two ultimate moves, the human one with a tornado wind spell. Oh yeah, it'd probably be like really big cyclone. Do you have ideas for game worlds that you just muse on? Maybe less so game worlds. I think a lot about like visual novel plots that I would like to write out if I ever could. Making a visual novel is probably easier than making an RPG. But I do think about like overall world building stuff sometimes. The suffering of having so many good ideas but no medium to properly express them in. I feel that way a lot, because sometimes I get a really strong visualization for something, but I know that I don't have the ability to draw it. But sometimes I get ideas for scenes, and I'm able to, like, write them out really well, but then I think of a really good, like, visual, like a photo or a CG, I guess, that I would want to have be on screen as part of the scene, but I can't fucking draw, so I'm just like, shit. I can't convey this. And I did have a few attempts of trying to get into art, where I tried to learn, but it does not compute in my brain. Can't get my hand to do it. The true alt Oni light, which is just, you know, ripping the soul out with red streak while saying, did you know our souls are connected by fate? I did. Ooh, that's kind of metal. I like that. The visual is so vivid, but the talent to convey it fully is absent. Mm-hmm. Happens to me all the dang time. If I could draw, it would have truly been over. I probably would have been drawing so much manga. But alas, I can't draw. That is not a skill that I was given. I do have very strong skills in the arts that I am good at. But I'm just not really good at transferring to things I'm not good at. God nerfed you because you would have been too strong. It's true. God was like, this person's already obsessed with BL. I don't think we should give them the ability to make a BL doujinshi. And honestly, fair enough. Settle for BL fanfics. People don't read those as often. Standard RPG, good girl, but can't show Oni side to humans because demons get bonked. Lock the true alt behind a story gate. Mm-hmm. I agree with this. Very, very good vibe. Anderson and Commander BL fanfic. Hey, who told you about that? Who told you about that? Pushes my notebook off my desk. What are you talking about? Technically, Anderson and Commander BL is also self-insert because we are Commander. So technically, it's also self-shipping with Anderson. And I love that for me on a personal level. The first 17 chapters is just Anderson going to meetings. It's called a slow burn for a reason. It'll get there. It's not a good office romance without a little bit of building and tension. Anyway. Methinks it is time to call it. I would like to raid Tomoe, and I also have a feeling Tomoe is going to raid Kohaku. I don't know why I couldn't say her name right at first. Kohaku's 3D is later. So I'm probably going to... I'm gonna raid Tomoe, and Tomoe is probably going to raid into Kohaku's 3D. Kohaku. Yeah, that's her. Kohaku Yume Kui. She has a 3D debut happening later. And I feel I'm excited to see it. But I'm going to raid Tomoe because Tomoe is live. And Koha isn't going to be live for a few more hours. But... I hope to see you guys there. I hope you guys obviously support Tomoe because that's who we're raiding into. But support Kohaku as well. I'm excited to see her 3D. She's been working hard on it from what I've seen. Tomorrow is the only stream this week that's at my normal time. We're going back to Tiny Garden. We're gonna try to grind out a little bit for the Froggy School. And then Friday, I changed the time for Okami because something came up and I'm gonna be busy in the afternoon. So instead of 2 p.m., it's now going to be at 10 a.m. and I will not be late this time. I swear on my life. But I'm gonna be getting up early and I'm gonna play game. And then, I will be able to leave around, like, the afternoon time, is the plan. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's the plan for the rest of the week. I also won't be streaming on Saturday, so no members, but we should have a semi-normal schedule again starting next week, I think. We'll see. But until then, thank you guys so much for choosing to spend time with me. I hope that you have a good rest of your time zone. And until I see you again, you know too.